birthday! Officially 2026, you guys. We are in the golden era. We have begun to see the unraveling of this year, from Maduro being captured to Iran overthrowing their government. Oh, I feel it in my bones, baby. 2026 is gonna be sweet. But I'm so happy you're back. If you are new here, thank you for joining me. We are on episode 4. Wow, we're on episode 4? 3? We are on episode 3 today, and I have mostly completed editing, sadly, number 4. Part 4 got messed up while I was recording. One of my headphones died, and when I turned them back on, my mic connected to my headphones, so I sound like I'm drowning. I'm probably going to go back and remake it just because my glasses are so crooked. I'm getting new ones soon, but I'm sure you've all noticed. Like, look at this shit. I can't stand it. Anyways, what was I saying? If you are new here, thank you for joining me. This is part 3. Yes, part 4, I sound like I'm drowning. Part 3, epic, right? I just love going over all the amazing things that have happened since Trump 2.0. We love Trump 2.0. Trump 1.0 did not get to do anything, which is why most MAGA supporters want to vote for Trump again in 2028. His first term was completely trampled on. He was stopped at every turn. He got a little bit done. He got like 30% of what he wanted to done because of how much everyone was against him. So I do believe he deserves that third term. I would call it his second term, but to each his own. This part 3 will specifically be about what's going on in El Salvador, both in 2025 at the beginning and now as people are panicking about it, right? And the 60-minute edit got taken down everywhere but Canada. I also am going to be talking about how the left has left the left and how most Democrats are on the Republican side just because of common sense, and how the liberals have no common sense anymore. So we'll talk about that, and I can't wait for the next one, because the next one we're going to be getting into the most important topic, the trans narrative, okay? I do not trust this trans narrative. I've never trusted it. I have trans in my life, real trans, not this fake wannabe shit. A real trans person doesn't walk around saying, oh yeah, I'm trans, look at me, I'm trans. No. If you have body dysphoria, you want to present as the other sex. You don't want to call out everybody and be like, oh, hey guys, I'm trans. Like, that just doesn't make sense. But yes, let's get into this. Don't forget to subscribe. Join me here. Help me get to 100 subs. We are currently at 84. Thank every single one of you, and God bless you. Thank you for joining me here. And this channel is not usually reacting, okay? I started this as a vlogging channel where I could get used to being in front of the camera. And now that I'm working on my other channels, my spooky channel and my tarot channel, I've been doing reacts here just to keep making content. And I loved it, and I forgot to make all my other content. I think I made like 7 ghost videos last year and 0 tarot videos. So hopefully this year I can get more back into that, and we might have less content here, but I'm going to do my best to keep creating, and I hope you enjoy it, okay? So let's go check out Trump 2.0 Part 3. Why didn't I just turn the camera sooner this way? So let's go take a look at what Stephen Miller had to say, and along with Stephen Miller, also Pam Bondi, and also Trump, and also the president of El Salvador.
Let's hear the question from this very low-rated anchor at CB.
Thank you, President. Do you plan to ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported? The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Girl, please. Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, 2 courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs. If they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
So will you return him?
And you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Stephen Miller, wait a minute. Can you just also respond to that question? Because, you know, it's asked by CNN, and they always ask it with a slant, because they're totally slanted, because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also, please?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As 2 immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for
Supreme
it
Court's
to get it
asking
back?
to.
Is that
what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, there's a 9-0
In our favor.
in our favor against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual, at El Salvador's sole discretion, was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked
¿Usted lo liberaría, Presidente
Bukele? Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to have suggested that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
How can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or whether I do it first, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
You can release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world to the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into the releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal, you know,
Yeah,
released into
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people.
Now, before I rant off over here, let me rant off here. And I just want to show you guys this really crazy clip that a lot of people haven't seen from Tucker Carlson's show. He interviewed the president of Venezuela, who has cleaned up. Wait, is it Venezuela? Wait, who is this guy? El Salvador. The president of El Salvador and freaking Venezuela. How stupid. They're cleaning up El Salvador. Like, it's so awesome there now. He's made so many changes and he's brought so much new structure, and it's just totally transformed the community. And I have to show you guys this clip from Tucker Carlson's video. It's insane. It's freaking crazy. And I want to show you right now because if I don't do it, I feel like I'm going to lose it later. 5 minutes, and he's explaining how MS-13 works, dude, and it's fucked up. They're evil. They're worse than the Mexican cartel, like 10 times worse. They're scary. And if you know how bad the Mexican cartel is, like I said, if you're from Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, like down southwest, you know how bad just the cartel alone is, like the Mexican cartel, the new MA and all of them, right? Well, this is crazy. Like, they're devil worshippers. These people are 10 times worse. It's scary.
MS-13 is one of the major gangs.
And they are satanic also.
That was my question. So very
I'm
little.
sorry.
No, but I would hope you will explain it, because very little has been written in the West about this.
They're satanic, yes.
But actually, literally, can you explain?
Well, they didn't start as a satanic organization. They MS-13 started in Los Angeles, in the U.S., because Salvadorans weren't allowed to sell drugs by the Mexican gangs. So they created a gang that was called the 18th Street Gang, because they basically wanted to sell drugs in a street that was 18th Street over there. But then division started dividing themselves and started infighting. So they created the MS-13. And then the MS-13 started outgrowing the other gangs. They started exporting the organization to other parts of the U.S. And when Bill Clinton decided to deport those guys, he didn't tell our government.
That's suspicious.
At the time,
That's weird.
I'm deporting this criminal. They just, send them here. And they came, there were few, but unchecked. At the same time, some laws were passed to protect minors from imprisonment. And of course, the gangs used that to recruit 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. So at the beginning it was, some youth causing harm, assaulting, trying to control their territory, selling drugs, things that are bad, but probably not critical. But they grew, and they started controlling territories. A few years later, they were actually a huge international criminal organization that they have bases in Italy, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, the U.S. Basically, a lot of major cities in the U.S. will have strongholds of.
Right outside Washington, D.C.
Yes, of course. You have in Long Island and
yes.
In L.A. It's a huge criminal international organization. So they grew and they started, killing more people just to get territory or to fight against rival gangs or to, collect debts or, money or whatever. But as the organization grew, they became satanic. They started doing satanic rituals. I don't know exactly when that started, but it's well documented.
Yes.
And in our arrest, we've even found authors and things like that.
Yes, I've seen them.
And so they became a satanic organization. And even when you, sometimes when you interview gang members that are in prison, they would say, I'm out of the gang. Of course, they're in prison, but they would say, I'm not a member of the gang anymore. And when they ask them why, I remember I remember the news outlet that made this, but it's a very well-known news outlet that made this interview with a gang member in prison. We allowed them to go into prisons and do the interviews. And the guy that they asked him, how many people have you killed? And he said, I don't remember. He didn't remember how many, probably 10, 20, he didn't remember. And then they asked him, and what is your position in the gang? He explained how he went up in positions, but I left the gang. I said, why did you left the gang? And he said, well, because I was used to kill people, but I killed for territory. I killed to collect money. I killed for extortion. But I came to to this house, and they were about to kill a baby. And the killer that had killed tens of people, said, "Oh, wait, what are we doing? Why are we going to kill that baby?" And they told him, because the beast asked for a baby, so we have to give him a baby. So he said that he couldn't resist that, so he left the gang. He's in prison because he's a killer, but he left the gang because he couldn't tolerate what he was seeing.
So human sacrifice was a part.
Well, in the United States a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago, I don't remember exactly, I saw the news that they were going to kill a young girl, or they killed a young girl, I don't exactly remember, because it was a satanic ritual. What happened in the US a couple of weeks ago.
Shameful reporting, and it'll serve as a reminder that you don't hate the leftist media enough. You think you do, but trust me, you don't.
Is that not the craziest thing you've seen or heard? Why is this not on every news station? Why don't they want you to know the truth? You ever questioned any of that? Ever? It's true, Heaven. You're right. And also, I just want to touch on the fact that the media is your enemy, okay? They are trying to destroy your brain and take over everything that you have created to reprogram it. So don't trust, you can't hate them enough. It's true. Rita is right. You cannot hate them enough, okay? And I just wanted to give our little update here on what happened with the 60 Minutes that aired in Canada, right? We know CNN took the time to go check out SECOT, which is the prison in El Salvador. They wanted to expose expose this prison's conditions. And in my personal opinion, the fact that they're even alive is something they should be grateful for. Okay? I think that they should be locked up, obviously. If this is their habits they keep and this is what their lives are like, they start them young, right? 14, 15, they've got these kids running their errands, killing people, harming people, selling drugs. There is no goodness about these gangs. That girl who said gang is community, retarded. That's retarded. Okay, it is. It's just retarded. Gangs are not community. Gangs are gangs. Community is the opposite of a gang. So, regardless of what the 60 Minutes exposed, nobody really cares, okay? If you actually know what's going on, you're grateful that these people are behind bars. You've seen what they've caused, both in our country, their own countries, Mexico, and everywhere in between. So yeah, lock them up. It's pretty simple. Bukele has cracked down so hard in El Salvador, okay? They were once the murder capital of the world. And now they have removed these violent gangs that have terrorized actual communities, right? And dismantled their operations, which is amazing. Homicide rates have dropped significantly, like more than anyone could have imagined in the past few years since he was voted in. Meanwhile, the media is asking who's being saved and trying to protect these criminals. But when you look what's happening on the ground, the question really becomes, who is the news protecting? Because it doesn't seem like they're protecting the communities.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people.
And they are sick because they're hiding it. They're still hiding it. They haven't said anything about this. They're not telling you who you're defending while you're out there protesting. It's really despicable. It's despicable.
That's right. Even the president of El Salvador does not understand why CNN is hyper-focusing on terrorists and saving terrorists and bringing murderers back to our country. He said it right. Do you want to become the murder capital of the world again? There's a lot that they were hiding from us, like the death rates, the murder rates, the fentanyl rates. The only thing they have you guys focused on is race and LGBT, okay? They're not telling you guys anything you need to know. Because they want you brainwashed. What program did you watch today? 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 You should watch mine, because I won't program you. I'm just some strange girl talking. No program here. We are going to move on to something beautiful, okay? As we see, the Democrats are in the toilet. But Trump, oh, he's living his glory days.
Thank you very much, Wow. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Yes, everybody stands Trump now, okay?
Yes, we do. And I like tripled down on it, dude. Like even his haters, all they do is think about him all day. So you must be doing something right. So I was gonna add like some clips of like some bangers that Trump's dropped in the last year. But I'm gonna be doing something even more awesome after this video's done. So I'm just gonna wait. We are gonna be doing a conservative 2025 awards, okay, of greatest memes, okay, like Heavenly Memes 2026, the first awards, okay? And this time it's just gonna be what I think is the best because I don't have a lot of time to go and make like surveys and get people's opinions. So it's gonna be my opinions today, this year. But next year, I really hope to have everyone else involved. We can all vote on it on Facebook or something. Survey Monkey, something. And it'll be super fun. So we're going to do it this year. We're going to see the bangers that Trump's dropped, bangers from RFK, bangers from all of his cabinet, and even conservative influencers, okay?
If you love your country, you love your president. And he's a good president. From football teams handing in helmets, he's got jerseys. We all love Trump. You should join the train. Jump on the Trump train before it's too late. You don't want to be the last one. You don't want to be the last one to the party. Especially if you're one of those people who doesn't like to be in the cool crowd. Right? You should want to not do what everyone else is doing. You should do what you want to do. And they're telling you to hate Trump. I don't know why I didn't realize it sooner. I wish I had realized it. But you know what? If I had voted 2020 for Trump, we wouldn't have had it so good. We're going to have it so good in 2025. And if we're lucky, all the way till 2032.
Donald Trump, what do we think?
I love him.
Love him?
Love. Thank you for getting rid of Justin Trudeau.
Should he run for a third term?
Absolutely.
Would you vote for Trump third time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No brainer. Says he wants to run again?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
In Argentina, a lot of people like this. Yes, a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's
Exactly. Trump 2028! It's happening. It is happening. So I prove it. I'm about to prove it. I'm about to prove it. Watch me prove it.
There it is.
And it's very cool. Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday. Wow. Think Joe Biden would do this? I don't think so.
Oh, it's time for our favorite troll. Is Donald staying or just playing?
We have almost 4 years to go. And that's a long time. But despite that, so many people are saying, you've got to run again.
Well, you know who's not saying that? These Democrats. Cue the media meltdown.
No matter how insane, stupid, harebrained, and lawless I think something he says might be, I have learned the lesson of taking him seriously.
The ultimate goal here is to undermine liberal democracy.
He is so enamored of Putin and so enamored with power that he wouldn't mind being king, you know, with the crooked crown.
This is a big deal, even though it is completely unconstitutional and illegal.
There are other methods for staying in power beyond when you are legally allowed to be there. Historically, some of them involve catapults.
I don't get it. But anyway, it's pretty funny watching all these people panic about a third term. What they really should be worried about is the fourth term. So here's how you do it. What's his name? Vance runs, wins, resigns. Trump takes over. Forget about the third term. It's Trump. Now you got to think about the fourth term. Vance runs again, resigns. You got him again. See what I'm saying?
You can do it for eternity.
You can do it for eternity.
Yes, 2032, my friends. We are going to have 2 more terms of our favorite president. He's got our Trump 2028 hats. I'm going to buy one. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at what he said on his plane when he was asked about a third term.
I have had 4 people say, please run again. I said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that. But I've had a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead. Did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, do you think that's an appropriate precedent to set, even if it wasn't you in this position, to see a president serve a third term?
I don't want to talk about a third term now because no matter how you look at it, we got a long time to go. We have a long time. You know, we have almost 4 years to go. And that's a long time. But despite that, so many people are saying, you've got to run again. They love the job we're doing. Most importantly, they love the job we're doing.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr. President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody ideally a great Republican to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something really spectacular.
So yeah, you heard no, yes, I want to do a third term. He did not say that. He never said, oh, I'm going to run. He said, people keep asking me. I don't know. It's too early. I've only been here for 100 days. It's not time to think about 4 years from now.
I'll vote. I'll vote for him. I know a lot of us will. I'll be voting for him.
Let's see what we get done now. But the fake news media, you know how they are. Let's go see what they said. Fake news.
You don't hate the leftist media enough.
President Trump is now floating the idea of running for a third term in some of his strongest comments yet. The president reportedly told Meet the Press anchor Kristen Welker that he wasn't joking when asked about the possibility, and he said that there were ways around the constitutional term limits on the presidency.
Did he say that, guys? I don't remember him saying that.
Here's ABC's senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott.
Tonight, President Trump reportedly says he's considering ways to serve a third term.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% sure that he never said that.
A move that would require breaching the two-term limit outlined in the Constitution. The president telling NBC's Kristen Welker, quote, there are methods which you could do it.
Oh my god, it's really hard for me to let them play their clips. They lie so much. No, really, you guys, if they had that clip and it's one of their reporters, why wouldn't they just add that clip here so they could show proof that he said it?
When asked to clarify, saying, I'm not joking.
Wow.
The lies! There you go, bitch. The lies. Later adding, it's far too early to think about it. But the president and his allies have been floating the idea for months.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again?
Amending the Constitution for Trump to run a third term would be extremely difficult, first requiring 2/3 approval by Congress and then ratification by 38 states.
God, we could do that. We could totally do that. At least they told us what we need to do. Yeah, so they're running with it. They want to keep adding this to our constitutional crisis, you know, because we're in a constitutional crisis. No, it wasn't a constitutional crisis when Biden wiped his ass with it and decided to get rid of free speech, force us to get shots, force us to stay home and away from our family and friends as they died in hospitals alone. Nobody stopped Biden from opening the borders. Do you know how many different terrorist groups and organizations are working to plan things here? Tormenting people who are Christians, tormenting Americans and white people. This is their targets: Christians, white people, and Americans.
Obviously, as I'm sitting on this porch and creating this video, it is before I knew about the Jewish hate that is growing on both sides. And obviously that is very important. So I just wanted to add that, like, Jews are being targeted so heavily too, which you know this. It's pretty hard to not see on either side.
Our values matter, okay? And what Biden did was really the crisis of our Constitution. I'm going to go on here. We're going to go on a little rant to go over all the things that he did against our Constitution that really just grinds my gears. Grinds my gears down until they're literally rounded. There's no more gear parts. It's just round. They're just round circles rubbing on each other. That's how ground down my gears are from Biden wiping his ass with our Constitution.
Over the last several years, multiple actions were taken by the Biden administration that have sparked serious constitutional debates. Critics argue, like me, these moments weren't just political disagreements, but clashes over the limits of executive power. Like, you know, they keep saying Trump is doing, which I disagree with. January 2021, the first major conflict with the extension of the CDC's eviction moratorium. Congress declined to renew it, yet the administration extended it anyway through a federal agency. Even Biden acknowledged it would be likely struck down in August 2021. Supreme Court ruled the move unconstitutional. So, there you go, folks. Reinforcing that executive agencies cannot bypass Congress. September 2021, next came the OSHA vaccine or test mandate for private employers. Framed as a workplace safety rule, it applied to over 80 million Americans. States and businesses challenged the order, arguing OSHA lacked authority to regulate public health at that scale. In January 2022, Supreme Court blocked the mandate, citing limits on executive power. So it took a long time for Supreme Court to fix that, which sucks because it meant more people got vaccinated than needed. In 2021 through 2024, immigration enforcement became another constitutional flashpoint. The administration narrowed enforcement of existing laws, prompting lawsuits from states. Critics argued the president has a constitutional duty to enforce laws passed by Congress, not selectively suspend them. Courts repeatedly stepped in, highlighting unresolved tension between executive discretion and constitutional obligation. August 2022, the administration announced sweeping student loan forgiveness through executive action, canceling hundreds of billions in federally held debt. Supporters praised the relief. Critics pointed to the Constitution's assignment of spending power to Congress. In June 2023, the Supreme Court struck the program down, ruling the executive branch exceeded its authority. Beyond individual cases, critics argue broader patterns emerged. The continued use of emergency powers long after COVID emergency had faded. These actions reignited debate over how temporary emergency authority can quietly become permanent governance. Together, these moments form a timeline of constitutional stress that grinds my gears.
I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me for advice, but if I did, I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck. I mean, think about it. Over the past 4 years, the Democrats mismanaged Congress. They mismanaged COVID. They mismanaged the economy. They mismanaged inflation. They mismanaged the national debt. They mismanaged Afghanistan. More recently, in their opposition to President Trump and Mr. Musk, the Democrats have chosen to support the bureaucrats and the spending porn over the American taxpayer, just like they support illegal immigration over the rule of law, just like they support transgender athletes over women's sports, just like they support Hamas terrorists over Israel. All Democrats are not like this, but the party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers. I know these people. They think men can breastfeed. They're triggered by race. They cry if you use the wrong pronoun.
He's going to have his very own segment in our 2025 awards, okay? Because I love Senator Kennedy. Because the Kennedys that care are the Kennedys that are fair. I just came up with that right now. Isn't that awesome?
And most fair-minded Americans look at this and they go, these people are about 10 exits past normal. and that's what's killing the Democrats right now.
Okay, y'all. Now, everybody, let's get into how we ended up here. How did so many Democrats end up Republican? How did the lines get blurred so extremely? Let's go check this out, because a lot of people left the left. Or actually, a lot of people felt left by the left.
16 months ago, in April of 2023, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. I began this journey as a Democrat, the party of my father, my uncle, the party which I pledged my own allegiance to long before I was old enough to vote. I attended my first Democratic convention at the age of 6 in 1960. And back then, the Democrats were the champions of the Constitution, of civil rights. The Democrats stood against authoritarianism, against censorship, against colonialism, imperialism, and unjust wars. We were the party of labor, of the working class. The Democrats were the party of government transparency and the champion of the environment. Our party was the bulwark against big money interests and corporate power. True to its name, it was the party of democracy. As you know, I left that party in October because it had departed so dramatically from the core values that I grew up with. It had become the party of war, censorship, corruption, big pharma, big tech, big ag, and big money.
And he's exactly right. Like that is really one of the main reasons why this lifelong Democrat, one of the most famous Democrat families ever, the Kennedys in the United States of America, is coming out and denouncing the Democrats and even endorsing Trump because of this very reason that they're not the same as who they used to be, who they claim to be. You know, even in this prime example of this election cycle, everything that they're claiming Trump is going to do, he didn't do when he was president. And then everything they're claiming to fix, they haven't done in the past 3 years in office. The math doesn't math. It's like when I was growing up, when all of us were growing up, for most of us at least, We were taught that, you know, the Democrats were lit. Like, that was it. That was a team to be on. Like RFK said, you know, it was a party of inclusivity, no wars, no censorship, freedom, this, that, hoop, hip, and hurrah. But it's almost like the party switched. The Democrats aren't that. It's like, truthfully, more often than not, Jay Jr. coming out and endorsing Trump and denouncing the Democrats is massive. And I urge everybody, this speech, this is a snippet, okay? This speech is what, 48 minutes long, 2.1 million views on this one channel. It's definitely something you should be listening to and just digest while you're in the car or cleaning, whatever it may be, because it was such a great speech and it really outlined how much the Democrats have changed. A lot of these people, your views generally have not changed that much.
My views haven't changed that much, but I've realized I'm a Republican. I just re-registered today as a Republican, and I'm very happy I did. I am. Because I could change it if I want to, but guess what? I'm a Republican, and I feel it in my bones, baby. Right? And, yeah. So this is great. This is amazing. I love everything about it. I am a Republican through and through. It's official. It's official. I believe that I have to work for what I want. I believe in my virtues of God. They don't stem from some random emotion and change from day to day. Okay, I have true virtues that stem from Christ. I love the Constitution. I don't want America to change at all. It's changed enough. It's good as it is. I will conserve our Constitution from this day forward. Oh, yeah. Okay, so after this clip, I believe we're going to start getting into all of the figures of the Democratic Party that left, and RFK Jr., and oh my god, I almost voted for RFK Jr. I love him so much. He's awesome too, but yes, let's go back. Let's get back into it.
Sit down and you think about how you believe and how you want the United States to function, you've always wanted a strong border for the same reason that you lock your front door, for the same reason that a lot of us live in gated communities, gated apartment communities, the same reason, you know, all our sporting events, banks, jobs have front desk and security, because we know in this world there is good and there is bad, and it is okay to want a border to protect yourself. The same reason we're fighting so hard to protect Israel's borders, to protect Ukraine's borders. Why can't we just protect our own? That doesn't make us racist or hateful. There's so many layers to it. But everything that Tulsi said about the Democrat Party and how much it has changed is exactly right and on point. Racializing every single issue going on in the United States, race this, race that. You know how many little black boys and kids were shot in Chicago, but y'all don't hear a peep about it? Black Lives Matter, the biggest scam that people were saying was a scam.
BLM is a scam.
You could clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
So over time, you and I, who used to be on the left, are now like, where's the left? Where are you guys? You guys are so... Yeah. See? Yeah. You're out of your mind. You're chopping dicks off and giving little kids hormone blockers. You have no idea what the long-term consequences are. You're ignoring the health risks. I was 100% a left-leaning person who lived in Los Angeles. I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes, not stopping people for stealing up to whatever money it is. What is it, $900 now? I think they raised it. San Francisco, most of San Francisco is emptied out. They ruined the city.
Again, another person completely spot on. Joe popped off. The left has left the left. They have gone crazy. San Francisco, down the crapper. Cali, down the crapper. Why do you ask? Because of the policies that people keep voting for. It blows my mind. There's so many Democrats that live in Cali and they're like, yeah, it's gotten bad. And yeah, all the looting and the team stealing stuff because, you know, they're not going to get charged and the bail and this and that. You voted for it. Like, if you're blindly voting Democrat, you're going to quickly see, you're going to be confused. Bingo. If you don't know why you're voting, you're going to be very confused why things start changing in your community. Quite honestly, castrating little kids. Like, that's not a fake thing. They always say, oh, it's fake. It's not really happening. It is. I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm bringing up sources. I'm bringing up facts. Like, it actually is something that is happening. The nonstop looting. Where is it mainly happening? All these Democrat cities where they don't do nothing about it. Ghetto. This ghetto. I want to leave. Oh, this ghetto. I wanna leave.
When I first got into politics, I thought that Democrats were the party of the people. And at the DNC this week, I felt like I was in a building with the most elite and out-of-touch people in the entire world. It very much felt like, let's just have a huge party and forget all of our problems because the vibes are brat. When I was there, I didn't feel any connection to real America or the place that I come from, which is the Midwest, Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri. I didn't feel any connection to the people that I know right now who are struggling to buy their groceries or to pay their rent. The people who want to know what both candidates are going to do to materially affect change in their lives. And when I was there listening to the speeches, I felt myself feeling mad because I didn't hear anything about the economy. Definitely not in Kamala's speech, and not very much in the others as well. Instead, I heard generic platitudes, things like joy and respect and integrity, and what does that even mean? Let's make the military the most lethal in the world? I thought I was part of the anti-war party. I thought I was part of the party that fought for the underdog, that championed working people. When and how did we just become the party of academia and affluence? Because that's what we are right now.
I mean, she's spitting because you got who you had up there. You had Obama. You did the Obamas were there talking about my parents told me I shouldn't be greedy. Girl, you got about 3 full houses. Michelle Obama talking about that. Then you got Oprah on stage talking about the gender pay gaps and inequalities. You're a billionaire. All these A-list celebrities, actresses, actors. It's literally elite.
How could we ever say that we're going to fight corporate power or give a voice back to those communities that have been left behind when above the delegates on the floor in levels and levels and rings of suites with donors and corporations that we're literally looking down on the people below from above? That's what Chris Cuomo said, and he's absolutely right. You know, I went to the DNC this year hoping that I would feel reconnected to the Democratic Party, that I would have more of a sense of understanding of Kamala and her candidacy and what she stood for. But instead, I ended up leaving and feeling the opposite, more disconnected and alone than ever.
Goes right back to what I said in the beginning of this video of all of us being like politically homeless and left out because like this woman, like she obviously doesn't feel like she aligns herself with Republicans or identifies as a Republican or conservative, but she's definitely not a Democrat. They've left her. She's left alone. And a lot of people feel that way. All those suites in the DNC just filled with the corporate donors and lobby and all these groups that the Democrats claim to fight against.
I don't think I can support Kamala Harris for president. I don't even know if I can call myself a Democrat anymore.
The liberals back then were forward-thinking, they were progressive, they were intelligent, educated, and they were quite tolerant people. Interesting to talk to. Today, this is not that world. The liberals of that time have already won the culture war. What we have today is a battle between absolute insanity and common sense. Yeah. I'm on the side of common sense, okay? So people who call themselves traditionalists, conservatives, they're actually mildly liberal compared to times past. And you know what? The MAGA movement is not a right-wing conservative movement. It started with Ross Perot, was with the Tea Party, and then Donald Trump is another chapter. And I think soon people like Vivek Ramaswamy are going to be another chapter in this movement. But all in all, it's really a movement of common sense. And we have no common sense anymore in politics today.
Like the party that used to be claiming to be Democrats is not them today. All we're fighting, like I said, when I said back when it seems like Trump is assembling the Avengers, it's literally insanity versus common sense. To fight for open borders when you are always walking around with an armed guard and you more than likely live in a gated community and you're talking about open borders. You're talking about allowing children who you say can't consent to have sex. They can't consent to change their sex for life. Insane. You're fighting for women's rights, but if I say, can men get pregnant? You'll say yes. Ask you what a woman is, you'll say someone who just feels like a woman. Insane. To say that breastfeeding is not okay, it's not an okay thing to say, it's hurtful to some people. We need to refer to it as chest feeding. There's only one party saying that and advocating for that. Insane. To say yes, these criminals who are looting, you know, they shouldn't be facing all these harsh crimes. Insane. To say that people should be jailed and fined for spreading misinformation and hate speech online. While in disguise it may sound pretty and appealing and a nice thing to say, that's wrong. And that is insane. Because it's the same people that say, oh, A, B, and C is misinformation. 2 years later, that A, B, and C is now true. We witnessed this all throughout 2020, 2021, and 2022. Insane. It all boils back down to sanity versus just genuine common sense. That's really all I care about, is bringing back common sense. Because all these things and Project 2025 and all these crazy things that they're saying is gonna come to light, I don't see it ever reaching the table. And all the things, the Democrats do not have a good track record. Because again, everything they said that would happen under a Trump presidency back in 2016 didn't happen under Trump. It happened under Biden. Inflation, the wars, the crime around the cities, all these things are happening under Democrats, and people are fed up.
The main thing that caused me to leave the Democratic Party was how hostile they had become toward
And yeah, this has not gotten any better. It's only proceeded to get worse because, I mean, we all saw Charlie Kirk die in front of our eyes. And all he wanted to do is talk. And he is completely in the middle, even compared to some of the creators on the internet today. I mean, look at Nick Fuentes. That's the true far right. Charlie Kirk was center. He was absolutely center. And yeah, the Democrats have not taken back any of this. They are still standing on the ground, firm that they are right. A man can be a woman can be a man, and it's okay to kill babies, and pay all the money. They want to be like Canada and London combined.
Outside ideas and perspectives. The culture within the Democratic Party even came to encourage people to be hostile towards people who did not share their beliefs.
How many of us have gone through this? Just wanting to have a simple conversation. We see this right now with all these influencers. You're canceled. Oh my gosh, you said the N-word when you were 13. Canceled. You're a bigot. You're racist. You're homophobic. You're transphobic. You're fatphobic. It's all coming from one side of the aisle. It is crazy that I'm being called racist and homophobic by white liberals, by all my old friends that I don't have anymore because I'm just vocal in my beliefs, and now this is the big problem. Inclusivity. That's inclusivity for you. The Democrats don't even want to talk. You can't even have a conversation with your friends. So many of you guys feel this way. So many of you guys are scared to talk to your friends about your views, your family about your views, because your whole life will be uprooted, because you'll get canceled, because your friends will hate you, because your family will look at you different, because the people at your job will not like you. You get all these. I've had friends get fired for their views, okay? That's not happening on the right.
To have them outcast as racists and bigots and homophobes, rather than engage.
And that's why I'm going to continue to talk, because I can. I don't have a job constricting me to keep my opinions to myself. I'm going to keep being a voice for those who really can't speak. And hopefully I can help wake up a few women along the way. Because, yes, I don't know, guys. The 19th Amendment is questionable now. Like I said in the last video, we need a Jim Crow for women.
Engaging in any sort of intellectually honest conversation with these people. So even when it came to issues that were quantifiable, for example, the lockdowns causing the greatest drop in small business ownership in US history, even quantifiable issues like that could be proven with numbers would be dismissed with claims of racism and bigotry. So basically the free exchange of ideas was being shut down by the Democratic Party. And without the free exchange of ideas, free society itself was put at risk.
You can't have a free society without being free at the risk of offending somebody. That's what a conversation is. We have to be open and free and just talking, communicating with one another, having open dialogue. We have to promote these things. They're not bigoted, they're not hateful, they're not racist. It's just how we communicate, and we have to be able to communicate. We have to. That alone is making so many people, that's like almost, it seems like the first step to becoming politically homeless and feeling like the left when you're not even able to have a conversation. Back in 2016, 2017, 2018, when I was really looking at the other side of the politics and other aisles, it was always my Republican friends willing to debate me on my beliefs about BLM. But now that it's switched, now they're going to have a conversation with me. I feel so bad for so many people out there because the way these Democrats be acting, and they claim Republicans act, but the Republicans don't act like that. Wild. Again, this isn't a video just saying that all Republicans are perfect and great, whatever. But we're seeing a major shift in Democrats in general, and how they're the ones abandoning their own base.
I used to be a non-binary, anti-racist socialist. So yeah, it's definitely been a radical lifestyle change since then. The catalyst for rethinking a lot of my positions started with me realizing how many basic questions I couldn't answer. So for example, I ended up in the hospital one time.
Hold on, can I ask, what was your catalyst for such a radical lifestyle change? Really curious to hear your story. You're an anomaly with love. I don't know what this is. I guess this person used to be a raging liberal and now they're just sane, like common sense. I don't know. They've definitely went through a change, so let's just continue to listen.
I did a female doctor just for safety reasons, but I couldn't define the word female. Like I knew there was a safety difference between a male doctor and a female doctor, but I couldn't explain what that difference was or where that difference came from. Like, do male doctors just identify as threats and female doctors don't? Or was there a biological difference between the two that you couldn't identify out of? At first, I was actually really afraid to just acknowledge these differences because I didn't want to be seen as transphobic or bigoted. And when I realized that I was willing to put my safety at risk for the sake of this ideology and for the sake of not being offensive, that was a really scary feeling. So I started to just rethink everything and not thinking about whether it was offensive or not, but just trying to find the truth. And that's kind of how I got to where I am now. I asked a lot of questions, really thought logically about things, and decided that everything that I believed, or almost all of it, was pretty wrong. Yeah, I'm just much happier now, and I wish that more people would wake up from the lies that they've been taught from the woke left.
Valid. I mean, she felt more comfortable with a female doctor. And when she sat back and thought about it, was like, well, damn, why do I want a female doctor? There's obviously a difference between having a female doctor and a male doctor. I wonder what it is. And that starts the breakdown of, you know, the views and beliefs that she had. So I'm happy for her. I'm glad she woke up to this and she's thinking for herself, but it is sad that it got to that point where, damn, you're sitting here like, I don't even have common sense anymore. I genuinely can't even define a woman, but I know I want a woman doctor right now. It's very clear that something has happened with the Democrats and the left. If you
I didn't even know it was this bad before I made this video, and like before I lost everyone in my life. Like, I had no clue about all these crazy rumors and how bad the LGBTQIA HDMI plus community had gotten, you know? It's just gotten so out of hand, and I had no idea about it, literally, until I researched for this.
have lifelong Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. coming out denouncing the Democrats and voting for Trump, being a part of his team. When you have Joe Rogan, a lifelong Democrat, saying, whoa, I've been here this whole time and y'all have just, I blinked and y'all are gone. To the everyday person, the person going to the DNC and being like, why are all these elitists here? I'm not hearing anything about the issues I'm facing right now in middle America. To the black girls, like, you know what? I'm history. We gonna be history the way things are going.
It's time for a breaky break. All of that made me really angry and frustrated. So
we will end with this clip, okay? This will be our last clip. We'll have a little bit of a peace pause. Peace pause.
let's go back to the fun stuff. Let's talk about the trolling. Let's go talk about some trolling. Is you trolling? Is you trolling?
It's About Time Genocide had a soundtrack. The comments are gold. It's so tiresome. I live in London and have lost count of the number of times I've had to tell my fellow gays that he really isn't going to put us all in gulags. It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible that people believed the stuff that the Democrats said. It's awful. A lot of gays, I think, were quite keen on the gay camp idea. How funny. It's straight from Hitler's playbook. I remember my gran telling me stories about how she would grab my infant father and rush down to the bomb shelter to escape the noise of Messerschmitts playing YMCA over London. Grooving with the gays. Horrific. This member of the village people appears to be doing 2 Nazi salutes at the same time. That looks like 2 Nazi salutes to me. That's genuinely looks to me like symbolism for what Hitler represented, but times by 2. I think that's what they were trying to portray there. It's go time. Important weather announcement. Snow today, ice tomorrow. There he is. These small details are the key to why every American is smiling today. They asked him why he didn't bring an umbrella. He said, because the soldiers don't have one, which is true. He's always been super, super respectful of the soldiers. He did say something like that he didn't use an umbrella because the soldiers don't have one either. I've seen multiple people doing this and it just tickles me every time. Okay, let's see the next one. Democrats today.
No. No.
Yo, who's that white girl on TV?
Pause. I have to share this with you. This is the Democrats today. This is him.
Lucy? Now look, I'm serious. I don't know what's the matter with you. Every month, every single month, your bank account is overdrawn. Now what is the reason?
You don't give me enough money?
I don't give you enough money!
Well, we both agree that must be the reason.
Now look, Lucy.
Yes, sir?
Do you think this is a game we're playing?
No, sir.
Do you realize how tough it is for a guy to make a buck these days?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Do you think that the money grows on trees?
No. Well, we'll see you later. Come on.
He answering questions for Trump. What is it, press secretary? The press, is that what does she know? I like her. I do. She a feisty little thing. She got a little fire under her belt. She showed them how to answer a question. Clear and concise, yeah. I understood the answer.
I don't know what just happened. This reminds me of like very demure. She's demure. Americans lived like this the past 4 years before Trump.
This is my boyfriend Derek. This is Derek's boyfriend Ben. Hey. Oh. Wait, sorry, what's the situation? What do you mean? How does this work? Derek is gay, but he's straight for me, but he's gay for Ben, and Ben's really gay for Derek. And I hate Ben.
It's not that complicated.
It's not that complicated. How I imagined Trump would drain the swamp. How he's actually draining the swamp. true, huh? Literally. I don't know if anybody saw, but there was a collage of these, and I'll put it up if it's there.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Musk and Big Balls.
Big Balls.
Big Balls. Big Balls, who work for Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, Doge.
In the one case of the Big Balls kid, a literal teenager.
Big Balls online, Big Balls here, that Katie's talking about. A 19-year-old that goes by the username Big Balls. So that would be one way that we could refer to him.
Young computer whizzes, the aforementioned Big Balls.
Because who among us doesn't feel better about big balls in charge of American air traffic control?
What I like is that there's a lot of humor. You know, we've kind of exchanged political correctness and getting upset over everything, offended by everything, for just laughing and having fun. Africa before 2.6 trillion in aid, Africa after 2.6 trillion in aid. The problem is, like, that is kind of true, huh? Where's the money going? What's happening? And why are all these different places reporting that they don't even receive the amounts that they're allegedly supposed to be getting? Where does it go? This is why I always say Trump is evil.
The country is getting much worse under Trump. Like, things are pretty bad.
What do you mean? Things are objectively improving.
No, quit paying attention to Twitter, moron. Just look around and you'll see. Like, for example, the country is more dangerous than it's ever been.
What's he doing that's making it so dangerous?
He's prioritizing the deportation of murderers, rapists, and terrorists.
How does that make the U.S. more dangerous?
Well, for starters, it makes it a less safe space for self-expression, okay? Some of those murderers have families, and some want to kill families. Did you know that murdering is culturally accepted in some places? And what, we're just gonna say that's not welcome here?
Yeah.
No.
And what about the sexual offenders being deported who would prey on American women?
Oh, you mean people who would give women attention? And Trump doesn't care if they're murderers or whatever. He just wants them out of here because they're not white like him.
So you're assuming they're not white because they're dangerous criminals?
I didn't say that.
What other improvements do you think are so bad?
Oh, for example, Elon, going around cutting wasteful government spending out to reduce the national deficit?
How is that not good?
Well, first, it doesn't matter how big the national deficit is because we can just print more money. No downside. And second, Elon having so much power, it is just wrong for an unelected billionaire to have so much power. Just listen to what Bill Gates, George Soros, Oprah, Alex Soros, and Reid Hoffman say. They've been warning us about this kind of thing.
He's so good. So I have a confession to make about JP Sears. So years ago, I don't know how much I've talked about it, but I believed everything that the media told me. I was very naive to, just reading headlines and being like, okay, that's the truth. Trump is bad. Okay, yes, Trump is bad. Trump is homophobic. He's sexist. He's racist. Okay, I believe you, and I just assumed that all of the things that the media, I'm still going to support this person, and I'm not going to let politics get in the way of humor and connecting with somebody and supporting another human being, if you know what I mean. So that's just a story time. So Senator Tina Smith says, Elon Musk and his interns meddling in aviation safety is truly terrifying. And Dustin says, Doge can parallel park a rocket ship, Tina. I enjoy when people use people's first names.
Harry is whipped. Do you know the expression
I'm
whipped?
familiar with the
I won't use the full expression. Harry is whipped like no person I think I've ever seen. I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
In fairness, many people do not like her. She's not a popular lady. When you trigger the entire left of the media with a department named after a meme coin. He is forever just so awkward in the way that he moves. 2030, every family in America will look like this. At the rate that things are going, I would say there's probably a 50% probability of this coming true. Who had Harry Bowles dismantling the government?
Well, I'm going to leave it there because I think I have a few more funny ones, but we can start out the next video with them and kick it off with Emily Purple, the Emily Purple Show. So we will start the rest tomorrow, okay? And I will see you next time.
In week of February, I did. Go check my own video if I did. I guess exactly that. Republicans will be exposed by this too.